안녕하세요. This is this is ChuPheng Lee, the president of Lao Family. Well, once again, ChuPheng, congratulations on your court victory.
Thank you.
This would be actually the second court victory that you had in Ramsey County Court. Let me first ask, why bring a lawsuit? Because a lot of people ask, a lot of people say that so why bring it to the court? Why bring it to the courts?
Well, it depends. Shake or ask more alcohol lawsuit. Backup Meiji.
Okay.
I prefer Halumika Lulu Montana.
Halumika probably better in Jakarta. Most of our people are young.
Well, the reason the first lawsuit I bring it to court because there's no such election in history that when you have the election done and will abandon the election. Lao family, we have a bylaw, and the election of 2010 is, every step of the election is follow the bylaw, closely. And when we have the election done, it doesn't matter what problem occurred during that election. I think it need to be addressed. Should not forget about the election, and that's why I feel that because during the election there were a lot of rumor saying fraud voting, says this person cheat, that person cheat of the voting day of the voting process, and if we don't bring this to the courts to investigate all those, then if we abandon the election, then that means all those rumors true, and that is the reason for me to bring this to the court, to prove to the people, to prove to people out there that it doesn't matter what happened in this country, there is nothing can stay about the duty process of the law of this country. And that is the first lawsuit is based on. It is, it's proof. Okay, it proves that I win. I have a victory over the first lawsuit, and then the community is, organized again, as you guys already knows. In June 8th, the community. Not the community, I shouldn't say, most of those are vendor to the 4th of July vendor, and also the ChuPheng administration, they organized a meeting to overthrow my administration after the first court rule and open the balance to overthrow my administration and me.
What was the reason why Mr. ChuPheng came with that attack? What was the reason? Do you know?
I don't know. I believe probably not Mr. ChuPheng's intention to do it, but there were maybe people behind him pushing to do such a thing. I've been working with him for the past 6 years, and I know his difference. He's not that type of person. He is a kind of person that go by the policy. What his action, during these disputes of election here is out of the ordinary of him, But I kind of confused at first. That's what I believe. The way Mr. ChuPheng and his team, they are doing this to me is not, it is not something that usual thing that happened in this country. It's kind of like back in Laos, in Long Cheng, in Laos, like that. So I believe there was somebody behind Mr. ChuPheng pushing to do such thing like that. That's what my belief. Okay, let me move forward to the second lawsuit. Again, the court's first rule to open the ballots, and we opened it on May 1st, 2011. I, went the chairman of Lao Family with many board, and after that, we are, are running the organization as usual. But until June 8th, Mr. Tushon and his team, Executive Director Long, and many others, they call themselves seniors membership in Lao Family, will hold a meeting on June 8th in here in this building, and they say they vote to overthrow me and my administration. They hire a lawyer.
Did you know that meeting was happening?
I don't. After the meeting, there were couples attending to that meeting. Tell me the detail. Tell me the detail what happened in that meeting. But actually, when they wrote the letter, the lawyer wrote the letter to us, is saying different thing from those people that attended that meeting.
So in other words, you were the legal president already of Lao Family.
Yes.
But then like another section or another part of the board decided to meet without your notice, without your knowledge, even though you were the legal president.
Correct.
And to overthrow you, saying that was illegal elections.
Correct.
Okay.
And that's why, after they wrote the letter on June 9, 2011, they have a law firm wrote a letter to me and my administration saying that we are fired from the board of Lao Family. The membership is vote to fire us, and legally under the statute of nonprofit in Minnesota. I bring that letter to Lao Family lawyer. We discuss, and the lawyer agreed that is not legit. If anything happened to Lao Family funding, misuse of the funding to, or people using the funding here to something else, and if we go to the court, it's still going to be on my shoulder and my administration, because we are the legit duly elect boards. So that's why my board and me, we decide that, okay, if this what the so-called member they do this to us, then we're gonna have to bring back to the court and let the court make the decision. If what they done, the action they done on June 8th is legal, then we can just go home, okay? But if the court and the judge say, no, you guys had to be the one to operate the organization, then we want the court to tell all the people saying that we are the right board to operate this organization. And that's why we go back to the court, the second lawsuit.
Now, this was after you had actually been escorted out of the building Lao Family.
Correct, yeah.
By police, which people who were here, staff members, had said that you came in demanding the $80,000 that was collected at July 4th to be placed into your account. But you did already say you were the legitimate board president. You had the fiscal responsibility. Why such opposition from the other group, and why? Was it necessary to throw you out of your own building? And how did you feel at that time?
Well, I feel angry at the time. I feel shame to all the community. And also I angry that I think that this cannot let this happen in the Hmong community anymore. I have to fight for this. Well, I'd like to since you mentioned the June 14 incident, that is the information, the press release that released on that June 14 regarding the incident that the police come and arrest us, and such thing like that, and then the organization, the director is file a restraining order against me and my board. This incident and this information is false information. this is for information. This is defamation. This is separate issue from the course that from the case that we bring to course to have the judge rule to further clarify who's the legit board. Actually, we just went to court for this case, the restraining order case, this past week, the October 21st, 2011.
To get the lifted.
And that's why I able to come back in here.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. On that day, I wanted to clarify. I wanted to make sure that people out there understand that on that June 14th is began from Juneteenth, which is I wrote an email to the director saying we had the election disputes and my board, my administration, we don't, be in the office before May 1st, 2011, and when the court ruled we opened the ballots and we won the election, we just be in office since May 1st, so we don't have the time to organize the 4th of July. The person who organized the 4th of July from the beginning, like January until May 1st, is the executive director, and he have a team from the community to help him. He already sells some of the booth of the July 4th. So on June 10, 2011, I wrote, after we have a meeting, the board meeting, and I wrote an email to executive director, told him that my treasurer, my secretary, and the booth vendor of the July 4th will be meeting with him on June 10 to transfer the money that he already sell the booth to the July 4 account, because when he sell the book of July 4 vendor, he put it into the general account.
General account, okay.
Which is, we had the funding here, and we should never do that.
That's not, that's two separate things.
Yeah,
right?
they were two separate things. And so I told him that in order for the board to be able to run the 4th of July for the Hmong people, we had to separate those booth fee and transfer it to the July 4 account. We had a July 4 account separately. And the way to do it is you had to have the secretary and also the booth vendor coordinator and the treasurer to come to him, and then all of them had to go to the bank and to transfer those money. It's been going on a couple days when we try to negotiate and transfer those funding. Actually, we meet like 3 times without me. I'm not there with them until the 13th. And directors alone is kind of don't want to cooperate. He just tell that I'm busy, I'm doing this, doing that, I'm not gonna be able to go with you guys. So on the evening of June 13, 2011, my treasurer ChuPheng is calling me saying that Director Sailong is set up to meet with us tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock to transfer those funding to the July 4 account. I want you to come with us. ChuPheng told me that. And I said, fine, I will be there tomorrow at 9 o'clock to meet with you guys and make sure we transfer the funding to the proper account so we can use that to run the organization or to run the event. And that's why we're here. But eventually it is a setup. Okay, when we got here at 9 o'clock in the morning, Mr. Yang, the executive director, called Du Xiong and his administration, called all the vendors that they sell the booth to it, and some of them is so-called membership for our family. They already here. It's a full room of all of those people. And my boss and I, we are me, ChuPheng, Paul Yang, and Xuanze Yang. We are here. Xuanze is the booth coordinator. And the first thing I told director that we are not here to meeting with anybody. We're here so you and I, we can go to the bank to transfer the money, as you had told us. And then directors kind of explained why he called all the people there.
What was his explanation?
Yeah, explain it. And then, all those members and ChuPheng administration is just started to make the argument, and suddenly the director called the cop. The police came the first time. There's no immediate threat to anybody. The cop asked why you call us here, and the director cannot answer the cop. So all those police go back. Then some of the member were angry at him because he cannot make any decision. And the member told him that if you want to make a decision and do it. So he called the police back in. This time the police came and he told the police that we, all the board, that the member already vote to remove us, so we are the board that trespass into this building. And he asked the police to escort us out. And that's what happened.
On his word.
Yeah, on his word. So that's what happened on that day. And when we don't make any argument with the police. We follow, we know they're just here to do their duty. So I just told the police that actually I am the legit board. The police told me the proper way to do it is go back to the court. And that's what we did. And that's exactly what happened that day. But actually, the rumor out there in the community is different, saying that we're there to demand, and I demand the 80,000 cash. Not true. That's not
true. I mean that's basically how it was portrayed, right?
Yeah.
So that, those are, to be basically ordered away from your building, from Lau family, away from the event, July 4th event. Did you know that you were going to win eventually?
Yes.
Okay.
I know from the beginning that whatever Mr. ChuPheng administration, the so-called member and the executive director do is not, it is not the truth. And I know that in this country, if you go to the courts, the truth will come out. So I know that sooner or later I will win this case, the restraining order case. And that's what happened in October 21st, 2011. When we go to the hearing, we only testify half, and then the court made the decision saying I have heard enough. I will make my decision. Me, myself, and my team, and my board, we don't even have to testify.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. Because when the lawyer and the judge asked Mr. Yang and his witness, they already contradict.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, to their petition, for the restraining order. Many Mr. Yang and one of his witness is accusing us of harass them, but one of his witness is tell the truth to the judge. Okay, tell the truth to the judge. The judge asked them, and he said, there is no threat about anything, no harassment or anything during that meeting. So the judge made the decision.
So you got it seemed like right as soon as you were legally back to being the president, you fired Executive Director Long Yang.
Well, it is not me. It is not me who fired Director Long. It is the board fired Director Long. The time that Mr. Yang is fired, I'm still, the restraining order is still in effect, and I cannot come to Lau family. The board made the board have a meeting in this room, and they made the decision. They call a resolution to fire Director Long. They only call me for my vote, but actually the vice president, Mr. Nia Tai Van, is the one that leads the meeting, and they decide that director is not working with the board. He is cannot work with the board, so they fire him.
What were some examples of him not working with the board?
Well, there were many things. I will give you an example. The director hires a lawyer to sue the board. to sue the board, to fire the board before my administration even took place.
This was before December?
No, before May 1st.
Oh, okay.
Okay, in April sometime. I'm not quite
Okay.
remember the day. This election is only half of the board, and the president position is up for election. We still have 4 board the remaining, and the director hire a lawyer to remove those 4 boards that are still active.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that is one of the reasons. And the other reason, there were many other reasons that I think the boards made that decision based on those reasons. The board wrote him a warning letter back in April. When the election ballots open and we had the full administration, we also wrote him a warning letter, and have him sign it to tell him that we don't want him to act outside of the scopes of his duty. We want him to work under our direction as his job,
The job
discretion.
description.
Yeah, job discretion, yes. And he continued to disobey and breaching the board order. So that is part of the reason. And also he authorized member meeting without the board approval. He authorized, he changed in the signer of Law Family Bank account without the board approval, or even noted the boards. Many of those things is being warning to him. On June 3rd, we have a meeting and we give him that warning letter and have him sign. Actually, he did not sign that request that the board asked him, the warning letter. He signed a separate letters acknowledge that he had received the board warning letter.
Okay.
And he's not admits any wrongdoing. And that is a lot of things going on. That's why I think that's why the board decided to fire him.
The working relationship got to be too volatile. Huh?
Correct. Yeah.
Now, how about legal fees? Was your lawyer paid by Lao Family, the administration, or the board? I mean, the
Yes.
organization.
Yes.
And the other lawyer was paid through their private, or was it paid through Lao Family as well?
I don't know yet.
Okay.
I don't know yet. Like I say, we still gonna have to do investigation through all the bank accounts and to all the paperwork. Let's see who is paid the other lawyer. Definitely is my lawyer and the board's lawyers. We Law Family had to pay for it.
Okay.
And because, like I say, we are the board. Everything we do here is Law Family had to responsible for. Yeah.
Does the other side have to pay your legal fees then, or no?
We
get sued for legal?
We in the process of doing that right now. Law Family have to pay first, and like I say, if we moving forward, we will define whose fault is it is making all this cost, making all this problem for Law Family, and if we decide, the board decide that we're gonna pursue, go after those people who cause all this lawyer fee, and all this problem for Law Family, cause the fundings, problem for funding like that. It up to the board to vote is to see if we wanted to go after the other side or not to pay for the lawyer fee, and we haven't get to that point yet.
Okay, because it probably is public information. How much was the legal fees?
As now, I don't know exactly how much is it, but I say in this, including the first lawsuit, I think it's right around $30,000.
30,000.
Right around that, approximately. I don't know exactly how much.
That's the number that was in my head. So currently, is there a lawsuit against Law Family? Any more further lawsuits?
Nothing I know. Nothing I know. The last lawsuit that Law Family and we had to go is the restraining order. I don't know anything so no.
Okay.
Yeah.
now that everything is resolved, do you think that Lau family has lost a lot of reputation, lost a lot of credibility, not just in the Hmong world, but also in the funder world, in the the overall bigger picture world? Do you think that Lau family has dropped its name a little?
Yes, I believe. I believe that all these election disputes, rumors, and all this lawsuit, yes, Lau family is certainly is lost some of the credibility and the popularity, influenced the community. But seeing this over, I think it's about time to take a different direction and build the credential again for our family.
What are some of the things that you want to implement, that you see that this is something we have to do to change? For instance, July 4th, make it popular again. This is something that we're going to do this coming year. What is ChuPheng Lee idea on?
Well, thank you for that question. Like I say, when I first gonna run for the chairman of our family, I already saying that during my campaign. I think the first thing now is to heal the community. It's time to reach out to the community, the key leader, and to the funding, to make sure that the community know that everything is fine, is get to normal, and be ready to move forward to the next level. The second thing, I think it's time that my administration, since we don't have the executive director, we need to get an interim director as soon as possible, and we need to meet with all the funder and also government office, government's department that they are funding this organization.
Time to meet funders?
Yeah.
To kind of open meeting, like an open meeting with funders?
Yes. To build a trust again. The second thing, then I will implement, my vision that I promised to the community that I will do, which is, the first thing I wanted to do is I wanted to have transparency, and I wanted to be inclusive in our family. Like all the staff, I want to open to, the younger generation and all race, not just Hmong people, to have the opportunity to come and work in here, to help each other build the community in here. So the other part on this implement is I wanted to open the door to all Hmong clan, including like church, others community like like the Latinos and also Laos, Vietnamese, all those Somalia, to join us and celebrate the two events. For example, like like the 4th of July soccer tournament. I wanted to build the trust and the transparency of this. I think this organization is very important that everybody trusts the people in here and trust the event, the people that organize the event, in order for the community to support this organization, so we can get more funding this way. That would be the other side that I wanted to build.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, I also have a vision that I wanted to have a trustee committee coming from the Hmong 18 Council. I will ask the Hmong 18 Council to send each clan a person to be a trustee committee, to to monitors and to monitor and to audit all the activity. Like when we have a committee that run the New Year's, we had a committee that run the 4th of July soccer tournament. I want the Hmong 18 Council saying each clan a person to join the trustee committee to audit all this activity, and to make sure that every clan have ownership of these two events. This the only way will unite the Hmong people and will eliminate the two New Year into one New Year's. When we all feel like we have ownership of part of this, then it's not necessary for us to have a second New Year. That's part of my plan, part of my vision I want to implement.
Okay. Wow, it's a lot of good stuff. In terms of like Go Yiseng, 18 Council, is that something that Lao family wants to be more, like share more activities and you know what I mean? Because it seems like it's a perfect match.
Yes, I think the Hmong 18 Council they shouldn't yes, Lao family idea is Lao family will be the physical agent because all the policy, because all the insurance that liability they had to cover when we do something, and Lao family is the organization that willing to to be the physical agents to make sure that we be able to organize this big event for the Hmong community. But to be inclusive, to be united as possible, then Hmong 18 Council is the perfect organization that they need to jump in, not because to help Lao family, but their duty is to make sure that we organize the organization fair to everybody, and they are the only organization that have all claimed here, work together, and they shouldn't feel that it's part of their responsibility. I believe that they must know that the Hmong 18 Council it had to share a responsibility of make sure it's fair for everybody.
You talk about transparency and trust about like big events like July 4th and Hmong New Year. Of course, over the years, you know that a lot of people accuse Lao family, mostly Lao family, you could say, of like, for instance, taking funds from these events and pocketing it in their, for personal use. What is your reaction on that? Those kind of accusations, and also when you say transparency, is that what you're trying to show now that that's not going to happen, or what?
Well, the Hmong people, most of Hmong people is like they only stay out there in the slide, sideline, and they want to say everything they wanted to accuse everything they wanted to, but that's why I say I need a trusted committee. Let me make it clear that in the past, since I become a board and the vice president in this organization, I was involved in the 4th of July and the New Year's until this year. This year, I'm not one of the committee going to the New Year, but the last 6 years, I am a committee going to the New Year and also around the 4th of July. I don't know, there's maybe others board pocketing themselves, I don't know. But to my knowledge, there's no such thing that like the community rumor accuse that the board or whoever run the event is pocketing themselves. No such thing like that. The reason I say that because every time we have a event, there is a third party CPAs is monitoring us. Okay, the general attorney office, the attorney general office is monitoring us, and the procedure is this: every time we're gonna sell book, every time we're gonna put a flyer out, it had to be approved by the third party and also the AG office, and they know exactly the procedure we are doing in here. There's nobody can do anything to the funding, to the money that we collect. You have to report. You have to report everything with the receipt to the audit and the CPA. The CPA, third party CPAs to them, and they have to report directly to the GA office. So this whatever Hmong people saying out there, they don't know the truth. my advice is, if anybody think, have question about this event and about Lao family, is join us, come and be one of us, and run the events, and you will know the truth. I bet I bet all of the people that have those questions and accuse that Lao family board, or those people who organize the event is pocketing. Ask every board that being running this two event will say the same thing I say, because they know there is a lot of expenditures and we don't have enough income to cover it.
Breaking even.
Yeah, breaking even. Sometimes we go negative. Sometimes we profit a little bit, and sometimes we break it even.
Well, I did look at the past tax returns for Lao family, and it was losing money up until the point where Long Yang started running it, and maybe yourself as well when you started on the board. Are there things now that, like for instance, this past summer, I saw that they counted money right at the ticket booths with police around, and they counted the money in public. Is that something that you are going to also implement? More, that's transparency.
Of course, yes. Well, what Mr. Yang is running the 4th of July this year is he is implementing by my plan. So I was saying that when I ran for president, and when we went to the hearing on June 24, the judge authorized Mr. Yang to run the 4th of July, and Mr. Yang had to follow the board procedure. And that is my board and me, our plan to do that. And we're saying that when we campaign, that's why Mr. Yang is doing that. But what he did is not enough. The reason I'm saying that, because I and my team, we are back in charge of the organization since August 1st. And actually, we don't have the proof that this year event is profit, as he told the press.
Yeah, he told me that.
Yeah, and as now, my treasurer is gonna go through every paper, every receipt, and all the transaction of the bank accounts. And I think last week they told me that actually the event it is losing like $3,060. It is not profit at all. Then I told him that Dan is losing $28,000 because Mr. Yang don't know about the $25,000 that Lao family July 4 account borrowed from Lao family New Year accounts and have not paid up until now. So he doesn't know that we had to pay back that $25,000 to the New Year account. And he declared, he told the press that he made like $50,000 or something. I don't know exactly.
Yeah.
But actually, that's not true.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. When I have everything, the way I see is we had to have paperwork, everything approved. If anybody wanted to know, they had to flick every page, and then we had the summary, the summary page in the cover to tell everything. He doesn't have that in here, and I will do that. When I have that done, I will probably gonna call another conference with the press and to correct all of that, to make sure everybody on the same page. Otherwise, we will, we're gonna have to find out who take that profit away, because we don't have the profit now.
Just a couple more questions here. Thank you for your time again. It seemed like right after General Veng Pao died here, not just in St. Paul here with Lao family, but also the Hmong Mutual Association of Warsaw, and also La Crosse, and also in Fresno. There have been organizational turmoil. Not just Lao family. It's not just Lao family. It's, like I said, Hmong Mutual Association as well. But why all this turmoil, do you think? Like not just in St. Paul, but all throughout the country.
I don't.
This is not the only lawsuit,
Yeah, I know that. Well, like I say, I don't. Um, I don't have any proof. I don't know anything hard evidence. But the way I see, if I think the General Wang Pao is passed away, there is a group of people that wanted to take power in all the Hmong community, in charge in all the event, in all the organization. They implement their plan to 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 control every organization and every community that the Hmong people live, and that's why you see in here in Minnesota, many other allegation against me and my administration in the election is coming from nowhere. Okay, is coming from some people that is a good people, is your friend before, and certainly maybe somebody told that person to accuse me. I don't know. We're gonna have to ask that person why you act such rare and out of the ordinary of your before unusual thing. And also same thing in lacrosse, same thing. It seems like there's a group of people telling other people to do this to whatever the person in charge.
And it's all revolving around the soccer tournament, the Hmong New Year, the.
That's it. Correct. Correct. And also like the New Year's in Fresno.
Oh yeah, definitely. Oh yeah, Fresno and also now North Carolina too.
Yeah. And that is part of the reason that I think I should stand up to be the face of the community, not just for myself, but for the community, the Hmong people, the public. I think that we should tell those people who have special interest in controlling the community that we, the community, we want the transparency, and we want the leader that we want in our community, not a group of special interests like what they try to take control. So that's why I chose to stand up for this.
So what you're saying, like in the absence of General Vang Pao's leadership, the Hmong community needs a strong leader.
Correct.
And you're somebody who is stepping forward and saying that you want to take part in the leadership, or you want to be the leader.
Not exactly.
Okay.
Not exactly. You see, like when General Wang Pao is still live, if we had something, we had conflict like the election, he will come and he will calm everybody down, and he will tell us what's right and wrong, and that's why every Hmong is so respect of him on this. Now he passed away, and if a group of people form together to do something to the community, and there is nobody come and to tell others people that what they do is wrong, to be fair with the community. Therefore, I had to step up and say, even though General Wang Pao is not here, but if whatever whoever the group of people do, if they don't do it right, then I will step up, say, look, we don't want this. The whole community we need the true leader. We need the people who will lead our community to be the person that is led by the community, not a group of people like this. So I think that's what I try to do for the community, and I hope that if I can break this ice, I stand for this. I hope that will be more good leader will come, and from now into the future.
One last question. A lot of people ask, being the board president, it's a big name, lots of work, lots of responsibility, but it's a volunteer position. Why are you working so hard and fighting so hard for the volunteer position?
Well, I sometimes ask myself that question. uh, I think it's all about respect. To me, if the reason I do and I fight so hard for this is, one is for the community. Two is because what happened to me during this election is not, is something that disrespected. And I wanted to prove to those people saying that, you know, whoever those people that tried to hijack this organization, to overthrow my administration and all the boards, I wanted to tell them that, you know, if you wanted to take control of this organization, if you wanted to be the leader of this organization in the community, you had to do it the right way. You cannot do like this. And it doesn't matter what it, I know this is a volunteer position, but if you disrespect me, I will fight to the end. And I don't care. Okay, I don't care what people are gonna say, but you know, it's all about respect and dignity for the people. So.
Okay.
And I think a lot of people ask that question. I asked the same question. Okay, before I come into the community board in this organization and to be a community leader like this, I am a businessman. I'm an ordinary family man. But you know, when you come into a position like this, you cannot go back. You cannot quit, because you have a lot of people out there to support you. For example, like when we have the election on December 11th, you know, it's a snowstorm, and I know some of the young people that helping my campaign, helping me, you know, I don't even know them, and they come and they drive their car and they burn their tire down. They break their transmission, and you know, when all this happened to me, I thought I'm gonna quit. I think back to all those people that support me on that day. I say I owe them a lot of things. They have a lot of hope on me. I cannot give up. I had to fight. I had to speak the truth, and that's why that kept me going.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for your time again, Mr. ChuPheng Lee, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thank you, Wami. And this is, I think, if you know.